After a record 670,000 Americans signed up for Obamacare last Thursday, the government extended the sign-up deadline until midnight tonight. The rush reflects an uncertainty among Americans about the fate of the Affordable Care Act in light of Republicans' pledge to repeal and replace it. James Capretta, fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, joins us now. Jim, repealing Obamacare has been sort of a Republican mantra for years. How difficult will it be to fully repeal it, and how much of a danger is the GOP in if they don't come up with a replacement?
I think it's going to be quite difficult, actually. It's a very complicated situation. And I do think that Republicans, after all these years, have an obligation to come forward with a workable, practical replacement plan that addresses the concerns that a lot of people have about the Affordable Care Act, but it provides secure health insurance for Americans, including people with pre-existing conditions. So Republicans have a lot of work to do in the coming months to, do what they promised, which is really repeal it, replace it with something better.
Representative Tom Price, Donald Trump's choice to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, introduced sort of replacement plans like this for every year, since 2009, all sorts of bills. Of all those bills, are there any in particular that you like or you think would be most effective?
Well, the House leadership under Speaker Paul Ryan released a plan back in June of this year that they called a Better Way Healthcare Plan. It's not a full, complete plan yet, but it's the beginnings of it. And I think that should be probably the starting point for what Congress tries to do. It makes sure that every American has health insurance if they want it. They either get it through their employer, Medicare or Medicaid, and if not that, they get a refundable tax credit that allows them to buy health insurance on their own. So it's a way to make sure that everybody can get health insurance in the United States, which is, I think, a really important point.
I assume you mean that also includes, you mentioned the pre-existing medical conditions or major medical problems. Do you think there's a way they can address that?
Yeah, it's complicated because they do want to repeal the individual mandate, the requirement that you buy health insurance that's under the Affordable Care Act, and they want to replace it with something where you don't have to buy insurance, but if you don't, then you could be penalized when you try to get back into the market. So that means that everybody who has a pre-existing condition should stay and can stay into the insurance market. And if they do that, then they will never be risk rated, they will never be denied coverage, they will never have an insurer tell them they can't buy something because of their health status. So for anyone who stays in insurance status, they would be protected. And I think that's the beginning also of moving forward with a replacement plan.
Federal funding for Planned Parenthood has also been a target for pro-life legislators for some time. Is the complete ending of funding for Planned Parenthood possible, or how soon could that be achieved, even if it was possible?
It gets funding through a couple of different sources, and they could do it. I think it's important that they do it. So they should and could move forward with a defunding program that would be under expedited budget procedures in the Congress, and it could pass with a simple majority vote, which I think means they could deliver it to the new president's new desk pretty shortly. So I think they can and should do it, and it's a possibility, but there are obviously some hurdles that still need to be overcome.
Yeah, a lot of hurdles, a lot of work to go here. James Capretta, fellow at the American Enterprise Institute, thanks for talking with us.
Yeah, thank you, Wyatt.